Hello and welcome to another Wraggies video. So this is a beer with Wraggy, and it is also time for my beer of the year, brewery of the year, etc. Going to amalgamate them into one. So we're going to call it the Wraggies, like I did last year. So first off, supermarket beer of the year. For me, it's got to be Northern Monk's Death Star 3. Dulce de Leche Imperial Stout. Absolutely love this. I thought it just beat Stranick by Northern Monk, funnily enough, which was my second. Number 2 beer of the year from supermarkets. Number 3 would be the Vocation Barrel Aged Mint Chocolate. So 2 of them actually preside only in Tesco's. Number 4 on the list would be Brewdog's Rum and Rattle and Rum, or whatever it's called. I really like that beer. You know, some people will, some people won't. You know, this like the Wraggies, my what I think is the best. It's only my opinion. You know, we've all got our own opinions, and thank God in this world. So that was supermarket beer of the year, supermarket brewery of the year, and I think that's an easy one. With their range of beers in supermarkets, including Death Star 3, Stranick, Heaven, and many other beers, Northern Monk clearly are the top brewery in supermarkets this year. I ain't really got number 2, to be honest. I don't think there's a clear number 2 across the board. I don't think there's a clear number 2. But certainly Northern Monk are certainly number 1 in that category. A long list of beers. I mean, Brewdog have obviously got quite a strong amount of beers, but nothing, you know, Northern Monk have certainly got the top end wiped out with the 2 that I mentioned. They are extremely good beers. So we'll move on to Brewery of the Year. National Brewery of the Year. Now, it's a strange one. Because the National Brewery of the Year for me this year is exactly the same as probably the local Brewery of the Year. Why? Because they are based in Nottingham. And we're talking Neon Raptor. They have been outstanding this year. They did a tour of Britain, Neon Rap tour, released 5 beers, took them around the country. 2 beers were just absolutely worldly. Tuckbot 2000 and the Sour. I can't remember the Sour's name. They had their 6th birthday celebration, 3 beers for that, yabba dabba doo. And again, they were stunning as well. All 3 of them drank at the brewery and reviewed at the brewery as well. And throughout the year, God, I'm forgetting about Centaur Army. That was absolutely the standard version was great. The barrel aged version was beer of the year potential. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Yeah. So across the year, the collaborations, the barrel age releases, collaborations with literally loads of breweries up and down the country. Northern Monk, North Brewing, Castle Rock, Thornbridge, Varvar. Oh God, there's others as well that I can't remember for the sake of bloody remembering. Vocation, yeah, did I say that? Yeah, gobsmacking amount of breweries that they have collaborations with. They've been on tour putting their beers out there across the country. down to Portsmouth, where staggeringly good reside. Scotland Wonder Country. Literally all over the place, abroad, through Europe, and even in Japan. Flipping Japan. And they are flying the flag for the beer world, in my opinion, at the moment, from what I can see. So for me, Brewery of the Year, without a shadow of a doubt, Neon Raptor. Other great breweries out there, certainly Northern Monk have shown to be big this year. Thornbridge, Jesus Christ, the amount of beers they've released this year has been staggering. Loads of collaborations they have had as well. I think other local and national breweries that have done well. Bang the Elephant have done amazing this year, and would have been the local brewery of the year, but Neon Raptor this year have just pulled their fingers out their backsides, and not that the fingers were in the backsides, but you can get what I mean. And they've really pulled the fingers out and unleashed a great year for them. Be interesting to see where they go from now. Like I say, some amazing breweries up and down the country. This is only my take on what I've seen, and obviously I do watch what's released quite a lot. You know, I'm always on chuffing social media, so I do see a lot of what happens out there. So, Nano Brewery of the Year. Nano Brewery of the Year is for breweries what I would class as a one-person brewery, or certainly small brewery. So we'll call it Small Brewery of the Year, not Nano, because you know the purists out there might turn around and say, "Well, Nano is a certain size kit." But for me, Nano Brewery of the Year, without a shadow of a doubt, is another localish brewery. But is the beers, the fact that he sells beers out before he's even brewed the bloody beer, which is ridiculous. You're brewing a beer. Oh, I'm brewing this. Oh yeah, I'll have a cask. It's like, oh my god. And he's showing. I think he had the beer for the Robin Hood Beer Festival, which was made by him at Urban Chicken Ale. Urban Chicken Ale out of Ilkeston, Derbyshire. His beers have been outstanding. The tap takeover that I went to with his beers, the amount of people there, and it say it was in a micropub, it flew through, you know, absolutely through this micropub, the beers, and basically they sold out in one day, and that's a cask of Imperial Stout. A cask of Imperial Stout sold out. Not a bloody keg, a cask. So a lot of pints to be selling of an 11% impy in a location that's not what you would call hippie, you know, hipster location. Although with Crafty One round the corner, it's certainly getting that way. So yeah, that's Brewery of the Year, supermarket beer and Brewery of the Year. Local Brewery of the Year out of the way. Nano / small brewery out of the way. I'm leaving the beer of the year till last off for obvious reasons. So, next up is Beer Festival of the Year. Bearing in mind, I've not been to all of them, so I can only gauge the ones I've been to, and that's literally 2. So, you know, Nottingham Craft Beer Festival versus Robin Hood Beer Festival. And as much as I'm not really a fan of CAMRA, I openly admit it, I'm not. They did a good job at the Robin Hood Beer Festival. I thought the location, the fact that they extended it this year, signage was a bit rubbish in places. You didn't even know Bang the Elephant, Totally Brewed and Black Iris were that way. So yeah, there was something to think about. So apart from signage, I thought that the Robin Hood Beer Festival was amazing. Um, list of beers, they do put a lot of beers on. I'd hate to see them chucked away at the end. I do think that some are sold to pubs, like all the ciders that are left over. The pubs all buy them off them for obviously a price. Um, and I would think that any casks that are not tapped, if there is any, again, would possibly be sold to pubs. And as for beer down the drain, well, you'd hope not, wouldn't you? But there's a lot of beer goes there. Like I say, this year with the expansion, with more breweries, and with new breweries added to the list, it was getting back to what it was. I think at the Motorpoint. Motorpoint was great, big place, lots of undercover. Didn't matter about the weather. In fact, when it rained, you all went inside, stuffed the outside bars. But the list of beers, list of breweries participating, the music was amazing, good food, good choice of food as well. I thought it was an absolute showcase for Nottingham. Craft Beer Festival. It was a good festival. I enjoyed it. Should have gone for both days. Need to chat to somebody and see if they do some sort of trade ticket, or at least a discounted thing where you can do both days. For a local beer review sort of thing. Because I would like to go both days, to be fair. Even being 2 or 3 weeks away from from both my birthday and my wedding vows. But yeah, there's a thing. What about that for a second? But anyway, yeah, Robin Hood Beer Festival for me, the runaway winner last year. Yeah, I thought breweries bought their A game, and you've got to say, Bang the Elephant, Navigation, certainly brought their game to it with this just a sheer amount of beers and well, sheer amount of beers from Navigation, specialist beers, and what Bang the Elephant did was release beers at a certain time and created a bit of hype. And people were looking, thinking, oh, Lumiere. What time would it be? I don't know, 4 o'clock or something. Was it 4 o'clock? It was something like that. It wasn't dark at that moment. And I went down 2 days. I went down for the trade. That was interesting to see a lot of people shaking hands and that, and from the beer world, pubs and that. It's lovely to see people from pubs who don't really know you come up and say thank you for your kind words. And I've gone to a pub and I've done a pub review here in the beer room. Yeah, it was lovely to experience it for the first time. Hoping to get another trade ticket next year. Try and tap somebody up for one. But yeah, that was good. And I got 2 free glasses as well, so even better. So yeah, we'll leave that now. Micropub of the year. Okay, there are some fantastic contenders for Micropub of the year. I class Fire Up Brewing Company over in Sutton Ashfield, a great micropub. The Barrel Drop in Nottingham, stunning micropub. There are others that are good, but I'm not going to mention them at this time. But the one for me that's the winner of Micropub of the year was the Burnt Pig in Ilkeston. Again, Derbyshire. Hey, what's going off? How do you think I'd choose Nottingham? And again, I saw the best of what that pub can do. Well, I think the best. It could be even better. Who knows? On the Urban Chicken Tap takeover, the sheer amount of support for a local pub and a local brewer, amount of beers on offer, ciders, wines, spirits, food, seating, the actual vibrancy of the pub. Oh my gosh, it was stunning. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, stunning. So yeah, for me, Micropub of the year, the Burnt Pig. Pub of the year. Now, there's a thing. Well, we'll do tap room first. Tap room of the year. We ain't got that many tap rooms in Nottingham, so so we'll incorporate the tap bars in that. So that would be Trent Navigation, which is Navigation Brewery's bar. Vat and Fiddle, which is the Castle Rock Brewery's bar. Black Iris, their tap room. With the outdoor eating now, so even in the winter months when it's a bit bloody colder, you can still sit there, and the heat's good. It's directly above you, and with it being above you, it's stopping the cold going out of your head, so it's beating down on you. Just keep pressing that button. You know, they're not wasting, because if someone's not sat there, the eating's not on, and it's an outdoor venue anyway. I should have included the pottle in that Micropub of the year and Totally Tapped, but regardless, Burnt Pig was the winner. So apologies to those pubs for not mentioning you, but yeah. Tap room of the year, obviously we've got Liquid Lights tap room, and we've got Neon Raptor. Now, as a venue, Liquid Lights tap room has music in there, and it makes, in some ways, a better venue, I suppose. But for me, just by the sheer amount of different beers they've got on sale, by the craft beer fridges they've got on sale, and sometimes a bit of merch going off in the background, Neon Raptor, yeah. It's the winner. I think it might have been the winner last year. Magpie Brewery also released their tap room this year. That's growing. You know, I don't think you can win overnights with tap rooms. Location's critical. But they're doing well on football days, which is a good thing, as is Trent Nav and Vat and Fiddle. On football days, those three pubs do extremely well, because Nottingham Forest and in some ways County as well, and the sheer amount of fan base around that area means that you can make a good bit of cash in those days. Brings the money in, you know, it helps the pubs. Gets a bit of booze in before the game, bit of decent booze at least. And although Forest Pale Ale is on at the County City Ground, so yeah, nearly forgot. I was thinking about the bloody mega stuff, the mega breweries. I'm not interested in them. So pub of the year. Now this pub, I've been to a lot of pubs in Nottingham. There are flipping fantastic amount of craft beer pubs in and around Nottingham. I'm not doing a craft beer versus cask pub. I'll amalgamate it into one. Trying to think if I was going to do a keg. No, I'll stick it as one pub. The pub this year for me that has been the cask pub of the pub of the year. Out of all the pubs that I visited throughout the year, it's a pub that I visit quite regularly now, and the range of cask beers is outstanding. They had a beer festival that I forgot about. I went to that beer festival, the Star Inn in Beeston. Yeah, their beer festival was great. Lots of different beers. Could have gone for 2 days there, to tell you the truth. Should have gone for 2 days. And gone through a lot more beers. I think I went through 12 so while I was there. So I didn't do too bad. Next year I might stop a bit later and get a late bus home and really crank up the beer reviews. But yeah, staff, great staff. There's good food there. Plenty of room outside, inside. Little seating tables to go and sit on. We had a great time. Fully enjoyable place. Yeah. And like I say, the beer, the cask. Went to the Totally Brewed, not Totally Brewed, the Thornbridge takeover there, tap takeover. Had a great range of beers there. Drank the lot, as you would. And, you know, yeah, definitely my pub of the year. So that brings me on to the final one, beer of the year. Now, I've drank some absolutely amazing beers this year. And early contenders were Caller Cthulhu from Fire Rock Brewing Company in collaboration with Bang the Elephant. Urban Chicken's Static Chaos also was a major contender. The Vocation Brewery released in supermarkets, the mint chocolate. Ooh. Stranic from Northern Monk. Death Star FSO3 from Northern Monk. Heaven, no, but you'll see about that. You might have watched that review before you watch this. From Bang the Elephant, certainly the 3 recent releases. Well, I did like Whack, but certainly the 3 recent releases, which is Statement of Intent. Also, that was an amazing beer. Hobby One was an amazing beer. Rum Ra was again an amazing beer. A lot of local. Centaur Army from Neon Raptor, again, amazing beer. But the one beer that just wiped the floor with all of them, and I said this in the review, you want to watch the most passionate review you've ever seen, that's one of them. Yeah, I do get quite emotional on reviews. It's been an emotional time. Lumiere from Bang the Elephant. It's barrel aged in both sherry and whiskey barrels, blended together. I think that's what they do. And literally, there was another one as well. Good Name Brewing. That was a chocolate cake one. And from Amundsen Brewery, they did a chocolate cake one. And that too was absolutely stunning. So there's been a lot of massively brilliant beers. But the one that won it for me was Lumiere. Yeah, version 2. 2 years on the run. My beer of the year. Absolutely stunning. If you ever see it in a shop, get yourself a can of it. The reviews across the board, maybe one person out of 1,000. But yeah, the reviews across the board are simply, it's a stunning beer. Made by a brewery that are going to do very well in the future, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the Wraggies, best of the year in the beer industry. As it is, reason why I've not actually put anybody's name to it, the old beer industry deserves plaudits for staying alive this year. Pubs, breweries, anything to do with beer, shops, because it is the toughest moment for a lot of people. A lot have already gone, a lot are going to go, and let's pray a lot of people, a lot of breweries do not go under, and go and support your breweries and your pubs and that if you can. It's not always easy, and bollocks to dry January. Yeah, stuff that one right up the arse. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you soon. And as always, I swore. Cheers.